This is part 2 of digging a little deeper into the visual ranking tool. And this time we're going to look and see what the students have done using this tool. What you're looking at here is actually MSU O2 group workspace. Their work is here, and what you're seeing is a comparison or a correlation between another team that they're looking at. So I'm going to turn the comparison off so that you can see just what this group is thinking. Now, the last time we looked at this, we just looked at something on the very surface level of using this tool. This time, we're going to take a look a little deeper. So as you can see, we've got these little comment bubbles on some of these areas of this tool. And I can hover over those to read the comments. As a student group, you would double click to post a comment. Post the comment here and then save, and then the little bubble will appear. So let's take a look at the work that the students have been doing so far. Remember that they were supposed to rank the characteristics of a hero from most important to least important. So they've got brave as the most important. Let's see what they say about brave. Being brave is the most heroic action of all of these because not everyone is brave enough to be a hero. So you can see that they were probably thinking that not anybody can be a hero. It takes someone who's brave to be a hero. Let's see what they have to say about selfless, which they ranked as second most important. A hero does not think about themselves, so we think it should be near the top of our most important characteristics. And then they made a comment on leader. We think that only leaders are heroic because we don't know of anyone who's not a leader and a hero. Sometimes students do make comments like this. You can see their thought processes and their point of reference, their background knowledge about what they think, probably something they've either seen on TV or in gaming or other social medias where they're getting their thinking from. Notice that they haven't made comments here yet, and that's okay depending on what you're wanting the students to do, but you're not really going to know their thought processes from here down unless you challenge them to make statements on each one of those. They did make a comment on the last one, which is honorable, so let's see what they said about this one. We're not sure what this means, so we put it last. And that's a fair statement. When you're walking around and facilitating this learning experience with your students, you can probably hear them talking about these things. It's a good opportunity for you to stop and talk about words that they don't know the definition of. Have them generate the discussion there or send them to a website where they can get help. Finally, I would make them add a comment, an overall summary statement about why they selected the way that they selected. In this little setup, something that I've done here is I've posted something twice, and that's okay because you can tell that the team posted it and it's time stamped. But their thinking is this. We think that bravery is the most important trait of a hero because it takes a brave person to be a hero. We think that a hero is not always compassionate, but they still be a hero without compassion. They probably ranked this one last because they didn't know the definition of this one. These are the comments in order and time-stamped. To add a new comment, students have to go here and then update comments. Now, I'll turn that correlation back on between this team, MSU2, and another team, MSU1. And when I turn the correlation on, which may take me a few minutes today for some reason, I see the thought processes of other teams. And depending on the number of teams that you have in here, you can make the correlation between any number of teams at any point in this activity. So maybe they're having a tough time getting started, but they hear the group next to them really getting going. They can kind of take a peek, if you will, to the next team and see what they're thinking. And as you can see, these two teams think very differently, and that's okay because it's kind of exciting for teams to start thinking about why did we put these things the way that we did, and why does this team think this way? Now, as you can also see, this team can see this team's comments, which makes the value of this whole lesson even more deep, more rich, because they're gaining from the knowledge of others. So this team, for example, said courageous is the most important at this point in the lesson, and they've decided that respectful is the least important of the characteristics. So let's take a peek on what they're thinking here is for the most important. I hover over their bubble and it says we think courage, bravery, and being bold mean about the same thing and made these our top 3 most important characteristics. Having courage is our most important characteristic. So they grouped these together in other words. They felt like these were like words. Let's see what they say about leadership. We think that leaders are heroes and that leaders are usually compassionate, trustworthy, and selfless. Now you can see the team is lumping these together, which may be okay, but it also might be a cop out for not making comments or not ranking these differently. I can, by the way, since I'm in this team, I can change my order when I want to after even or during the process of things. But for now, I'm still making a comparison. They chose honorable as near the end, kind of like this team did, and they say, we're not sure what honorable has to do with being a hero, but we didn't want to put it last. This comment makes me think that there's somebody or maybe several people in the group that are disagreeing with the group. So they've added it in here because the students can't take a word out of the list. The list is the list. They have to rank them. But if we hover over this bubble, we can see that they feel like heroes aren't always respectful because they don't have time to be respectful if they're doing something heroic. And they definitely agreed on putting that one last. Now, what I can't see here is I can't see this team's comments when I'm in this team's work environment. And that's okay. As a teacher, I can go back and look at those myself. So I'm going to turn the comparison off, make sure the team has saved their work, and then we'll take one final look in the teacher workspace about what the work of these teams.